Imagine it's 2 a.m. and you should have been asleep hours ago. Your eyes burn, your thoughts blur, and every blink lasts longer. You tell yourself you'll catch up on sleep this weekend. After all, everyone pulls all-nighters, right? But what if you could never catch up on sleep? What really happens if you never sleep again? The countdown begins. Hour 24. You've now been awake for a full day. Your reaction time is already as bad as being drunk. Studies comparing sleep deprivation to blood alcohol content found that staying awake for 24 hours impairs you about as much as a blood alcohol level of 0.10, over the legal driving limit in most places. Your body isn't just tired, it's functionally intoxicated, except nobody's cutting you off at the bar. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for judgment, impulse control, and basically being a functional adult, starts going offline first. This is why you send unhinged texts at 3 a.m. and think, ordering a $40 pizza feels like a great idea. Your brain isn't broken yet. It's just running on a skeleton crew. Hour 36. Now, things get weird. Your body starts hijacking your brain to force the issue. You start experiencing microsleeps, tiny, involuntary naps lasting 1 to 10 seconds, where your brain simply shuts off the lights without asking permission. You might be mid-sentence, mid-chew, mid-anything, and for a few seconds you are functionally asleep with your eyes open. This is how sleep-deprived drivers crash on straight, empty highways. Their brain didn't wait for a good time. It just took what it needed. Your immune system is also quietly falling apart. Sleep is when your body produces cytokines, proteins that fight off infection and inflammation. Cut sleep, and your cytokine production drops. Your body loses its own security guards right when it needs them most, which is deeply unfair because staying awake this long is already stressing your body enough to need backup. Hour 48. Welcome to the hallucination stage. Your brain, desperate for the dream sleep it's being denied, starts trying to dream while you're still awake. Shapes move at the edge of your vision. Textures on walls start to shift. Some people report seeing bugs crawling on surfaces that are completely clean. This isn't your imagination being creative. It's REM sleep, the dreaming stage, trying to force its way into your waking hours because your brain refuses to go without it any longer. Here's the twist nobody tells you. Those hallucinations aren't a malfunction. They're a safety valve. Your brain considers dream sleep so non-negotiable that it will start bleeding dream content into reality rather than skip it entirely. It's less your mind is breaking and more your mind is filing an emergency request that you are ignoring. Hour 72. This is documented territory, not hypothetical. In 1964, a 17-year-old named Randy Gardner stayed awake for 264 hours, like 11 days, for a science fair project, monitored the whole time by researchers. By day 3, he was struggling to identify objects by touch. He believed he was a famous football player. His speech slurred like he'd had a stroke. Researchers noted tremors, memory lapses, and paranoia. And yet, remarkably, he survived it and mostly recovered after sleeping it off. Human bodies are absurdly resilient right up until they aren't. Because here's where it stops being survivable. There is a real disease called fatal familial insomnia. It's a genetic condition where a person's brain slowly loses the physical ability to sleep at all. Not struggles to sleep, loses the mechanism entirely. Patients decline over months. They hallucinate constantly, lose the ability to control their body temperature, develop dementia-like symptoms, and eventually die. Not from any external injury, but because a body that cannot sleep cannot maintain itself. It's one of the only diseases on Earth where a completely normal, universal human function simply stops, and death follows as the direct result. That's the answer to the darkest version of the question. Total permanent sleep loss doesn't just make you tired, it is eventually fatal. Your body isn't being dramatic when it forces you to shut down. It's running essential maintenance that has no substitute. So why does something that feels so unproductive get treated by your own biology as more important than eating? Because while you're unconscious, your brain is doing something it can only do when you're offline. It's running a nightly cleaning crew called the glymphatic system, flushing out metabolic waste, including a protein called beta amyloid, the same protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Every night you sleep, your brain is quite literally power washing itself. Skip that wash cycle long enough, and the waste starts building up in a brain that has nowhere to put it. Meanwhile, your body is doing repairs you never see. Growth hormone spikes during deep sleep, repairing muscle and tissue. Your heart rate and blood pressure drop, giving your cardiovascular system a nightly break it doesn't get any other time. Your hippocampus, the memory filing cabinet in your brain, uses sleep to move short-term memories into long-term storage. Pull an all-nighter before a test and you're not just tired during the exam, you may have failed to properly save half of what you studied to begin with. Here's the part that should really bother you. Evolution had every reason to get rid of sleep if it could. Think about it. A sleeping animal is a blind, deaf, defenseless animal. Lying still for 8 hours a night in a world full of predators is, on paper, an insane risk. If there were any way for evolution to design us to skip it, natural selection would have jumped at the chance. Instead, sleep shows up in nearly every studied animal on the planet, from humans to fruit flies to dolphins, who evolved to sleep with only half their brain at a time so the other half can keep watch. Even creatures that evolved to sleep dangerously exposed still sleep. That's how non-negotiable it is. Whatever sleep does must be worth more than the very real risk of being eaten while unconscious. That should reframe how you think about the sleep you're skipping this week to answer emails or doom scroll for one more hour. You're not just losing rest, you're skipping scheduled maintenance on the only body you're ever going to get. Maintenance so important that biology decided it was worth the risk of being killed in your sleep rather than not sleep at all. So no, you're never actually going to test what happens if you never sleep again, because your body will not let that experiment run. Long before you'd reach anything close to the fatal endpoint, your brain would force microsleeps on you against your will, hijacking consciousness in 1-second bursts until you comply. Your body isn't asking for permission to rest, it's simply going to take it, whether you schedule it in or not. Maybe that's the strangest twist of all. We treat sleep like a weakness to push through, an inconvenience standing between us and being more productive. But your body treats it like the single most protected function you have. More protected than hunger, more protected than fear, more protected than almost anything else evolution could have prioritized instead. It would rather force you into a waking hallucination than let you skip it. So tonight, when you tell yourself you'll sleep later, remember what your body already knows. It was never optional. It just lets you think it was.